Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and I welcome all of you back to our Metallica discography. So, we are, by the time we're done with today's this video, we'll be halfway through the first Metallica album, and it says one thing that I say that as though we'll still have at least 113 songs to go. But you know what? Getting a move on, I suppose, is certainly one way of doing this. And whilst so far, I would say, in terms of like the rankings for the tier list, I would say Metallica, like the first two songs were absolutely up there. Jump in the Fire and Motor Breath are sort of maybe just above the middle of the road sort of tier, I suppose. And today, we have probably one of the harder ones to categorize, because here's the thing. Whilst I will maintain there probably might be certain inconsistencies when it comes to this list, I do quite like me some purely instrumental stuff. I do quite like the thing that is completely open to interpretation, and you can subject yourself to whatever opinions you want, and as long as what you can find in it and it satisfies you, then go right ahead, knock yourself out. So, with that being said, Anaesthesia, aka Pulling Teeth, or Anesthetic, I can't quite remember exactly how is it pronounced? Anaesthesia. Okay, fair enough. So, this being a Cliff Burton solo, and well, I'm gonna have to have Cliff's help to help me out here, because I need this to kind of jog my memory a bit. So, Cliff, let's see what you got. And you may argue in some small way, can we even if this is, well, it's no, we can't really. It's part of the same thing. So let's go with it anyway. So, Cliff, whenever you're ready.
Bass solo, take one.
And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. And Anaesthesia pulling teeth. And okay, this is good. This what I reckon is probably going to be really really difficult because one, there's no denying Cliff. It was very impressive to listen to Cliff do that, and it's. But I think it's also going to be one of those cases where I think the entire strength of pulling teeth is entirely on Cliff's shoulders. And whilst I think it's absolutely out there, I will also admit, and it may seem as a bit like blasphemy, is that I think it probably could have done with maybe, like, if Lars hadn't come in, or like at about the halfway stage, I would have ranked this song this a lot lower. But as more of a and again, the interpretation of stuff like this is always going to cause like confliction, but I think it's more about a spectacle of seeing Cliff being able to work by himself. So oh dear, this might be the hardest one yet. But in terms of roughly where I feel like pulling teeth goes, I think it's better than Now That We're Dead. I think, however, it's and The Thorn Within, but I think it's behind The Unforgiven Part 3. I think that's fair enough. Or is it? Oh dear. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this was like really, really hard to categorize, and there's even a part of me where I should maybe put it a little bit higher, but I also think the things that come above it are better. Just I'd say more on average, and by the time you get to see sort of like what my rough interpretation of the Metallica tier list is, you probably might also agree that it's probably a hard one, a really hard one to categorize. And that's not Cliff's fault, by the way. It's just sort of the nature of these sorts of things. But with all that being said, I will look forward to seeing all of you guys again next time, because we are now halfway through Kill 'Em All, and we still have some pretty good ones coming, like Phantom Lord, No Remorse, Seek and Destroy, Metal Militia, and Whiplash. Not necessarily in that order, but guess what? Where do they rank? Well, we're going to have to wait and see.